Let's talk about anonymous function in that, which is also known as the lambdas. Anonymous functions have no name and are often used as callback or inline function. What does this mean? So being used as a callback simply means being passed as an argument into another function. So the same way we can pass your name, a list as an argument into a function, we can do the same thing using anonymous function. And that's what it simply means to be used as callback. And being used as an inline function simply means that it is defined directly at the place whereby it is going to be used instead of being defined separately. And we're going to be looking at some examples so as to understand this better. So far we've been looking at named function in that. And how do we write a named function? We'll make use of the return type first, and then we give it a name, unique to whatever block of code we're executing in that function. And then we have the parameter passed into the bracket, and then the curly bracket where we'll pass the block of code which we want to execute. But in the case of an anonymous function, let's look at the syntax. First, you don't give it a return type, and then you don't also give it a name. The only thing you need to provide is just the open bracket, close bracket, which is going to take the parameter. And then that's if you're going to be providing parameter for whatever block of code you want to execute. And then you have your code block inside this curly bracket. So the difference between an anonymous function and a name function is that this, you don't provide a name and a return type for it. Let's look at an example to understand this better. So here we have a list of number, which we want to go through each item on the number, and then we want to multiply each item by 2. We can use a particular method to do this, which is the for each method. This for each method takes a callback. Remember, during the course of my introduction, I said anonymous function can act as a callback. What does this mean again? Passing a function as an argument into a function. Let's look at how we can do this. So we can come here, we can say number dot for each. As you can see, this for each method takes a function which is a callback. So we can come here, we can say this, and we can have this here. So this takes an integer, which is going to be our number, representing each number on the number list. And we can say print number multiply by 2. Let's have the semicolon here, and let's have a semicolon here. And let me go over this again. We have a list of number 1, 2, and 3. And what we want to do is that we want to go through this list, and then we want to perform an action on each number on this list. We can make use of a method called for each method. What this method does is that it takes a callback, and then using that callback, we can use it to perform action on each item on this list. So we're passing in a callback function, which is our anonymous function. We do not provide a name and we do not provide a return type for it. So this anonymous function will pass in our parameter, which is each item on this number list. And what we want to do with those items is that we want to multiply each number by 2 and then print out each item. Let's run this and see our result. And now you can see we have 2, which is 1 multiplied by 2, which gives us 2, 2 multiplied by 2, which gives us 4, and 3 multiplied by 2, which gives us 6. So this is one example of how we can make use of our anonymous function. Let's look at another example of how we can make use of anonymous function. Now what we want to do now is that we want to provide a number to our anonymous function, and then we're going to perform a calculation with that number, and whatever result we get with that number, we're going to return it, and then we're going to store it inside a variable. Let's look at how we can do this. So we can say open bracket, close bracket. This is going to take int of number, and then we can come here and we can have a return type, which is going to say number multiplied by number multiplied by number. And let's add this here. Now there's no way we can call this. Let's add a semicolon here. There's no way we can call this function, unlike the named function that we can just make use of the name and then we can call it like that. So in order to use this, we can pass this function directly into a variable. So we can come here and say var, and we can, let's call it cube, and we can say equals to, and like this, we have successfully passed our anonymous function to a variable. And now if we come over here, so as a result of using var, a type has been inferred for this cube, which is of type integer function, which takes parameter int. And that's what we've done with this anonymous function. You can see this int, which is the parameter, is the number which we are passing here, and the return type is of integer. You can see when we multiply this number by this number by this number, we have a value which is an integer, which is going to be returned. So instead of using var like this, we can come here and we can explicitly infer a type on it. So we can say int function, and like this, we can say this is going to be an integer here. And this works fine also. So in order to make use of this cube, we can come here now and we can say print cube. And now if we do this, this is going to require that we pass in this integer value, which is our number, to it. So we have to come here and do something like this, and we have to pass a value to this, and let's add semicolon here. And if we run this now, you can see we have 27, which is 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3, which gives us 27. So this is another way we can make use of our anonymous function, by assigning it to a variable. Anonymous function can also be used when you're working with Flutter projects, especially when you're creating a button and you want to pass in a function to perform a specific set of instructions. You can make use of anonymous function. You can check my tutorial on how to make use of buttons, whereby we pass in a function and that to execute whatever task we want to execute using that button. So these are some of the advantages of an anonymous function. And that's going to be the end of our tutorial on anonymous function. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. See you in the next video. Thank you.